Hey guys, I'm Kevin Hennessy and this is Exploring Wild, and in this episode I'm just going to take a hike on one of the local trails. I've not been down it yet, so we're going to go and see what it's all about. Spring has finally found its way to Idaho, bringing with it rain, but that rain is bringing with it new life. Been on the trail about an hour and 20 minutes, including stopping and looking at things and taking in the sights. I've done about 2 miles and I've just passed a sign that says to get to the upper trailhead is about 1.5 miles, which I'm going to say is strange because I thought I was on the upper trailhead. So I'm going to continue on 1.5 miles and see where that takes us. I just passed a runner. He was going in the opposite direction, and we stopped and had a chat, which is nice because I'm so used to going out in the mountains in the middle of nowhere and not seeing anybody for days. So it's kind of nice to see somebody out and enjoying it. There are a lot of people around, living in a city, coming out in the mountains and the outskirts, especially this time of year when everyone's been stuck inside because of the snowfall. As soon as the weather clears up, everybody wants to get out in the mountains. But a lot of it is closed to protect the runoff, the winter wildlife, which I understand, conservation. But a lot of it is closed, and because of that, everyone jams into the areas that are open. And I got to be honest, I hate it. I love that so many people are getting out and about, but I like the solitude when I go out in the mountains. I like to know that there's nobody around for miles. I enjoy that. Some people don't, but I do. I love that. But we stopped and had a bit of a chat. And he was warning me because he said the mountain lions have been moving into this area, and he'd run past a lion kill, and he said he'd seen some lion tracks on the trail. I have not seen any lion tracks on the trail. Maybe they're further down. I have seen a lot of domestic dog tracks. I've seen a very faint coyote track. I've seen some coyote scat. Full of, look like jackrabbit hair, which tells you 2 things: there's coyotes and there's jackrabbits. And there is a deer carcass by a tree over there, but it does not say lion kill to me. My time in the Rocky Mountains, I've seen quite a few lion kills, and lions, generally speaking, and I say generally because there are always outliers in nature. Generally speaking, they will take their kill up into the mountains, up into a tree, and they do it because they don't want to share. They're greedy little things. It was funny because one of the things he said really stood out. Not the fact that there was a mountain lion. They don't worry me. They say, in kind of Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, those 3 states, and I'm sure expanding states either side, but from what I've read they reference those 3 states. If you walk a mile in the backcountry in those 3 states, you have been watched by at least one mountain lion. I am now coming up to almost 3 miles, but lions have never bothered me. It's not something that ever really concerns me. The wolves don't concern me. What concerns me most out here, I'll be honest, are the bears. I have come across a couple of black bears in my time in the Rocky Mountains. I actually had one cross a creek probably 10 yards away from me about 2 summers ago when I was out on my 4-wheeler, and it was a sow with a cub. She paid me no attention whatsoever. But what did cross my mind is, I was going slowly down this trail, is if she had crossed the creek and I had gone in between her and her cub, that might have been a problem. But the bears, that's the only thing that really concerned me out here, are the bears. But as I was saying, he mentioned something that kind of stood out to me. He said, they're coming into the city. And my perspective on that is, you know, they're not coming into the city is coming into their environment. The city is growing everywhere, you know, they're exploding, towns are exploding, cities are exploding, the population is exploding, and it is exploding into their environments. We are encroaching on their territory, not the other way around. And, you know, because of that, things happen. People and wildlife find themselves in situations where one or other can get hurt. And that is a shame. So we are going to add to the list of things that I am concerned about sage grouse. I think it was a sage grouse. Scared the crap out of me. I just finished talking about the mountain lions and all that kind of stuff, and I walked around a corner and I literally stepped on it and it flew out of the sagebrush, and I tell you what, I think I actually wet myself. It scared the living daylights out of me. I'm not going to lie. This has been a pretty awesome hike so far. You know, I've been completely and utterly heartbroken, I guess, moving to a city, because, you know, I spent the last 5 years living at 6,000 feet in the middle of nowhere, playing up at around 10,000 feet in the Rockies, and it's been amazing. You know, I do not see a single soul, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And then moving to the city, you know, even the trails, you know, even the ones a little bit further back that you have to work to get to, are packed with people. And I came out today thinking it was going to be the same. You know, the weather's it's raining now. It's been raining on and off, and I've found that, you know, if the weather forecast isn't brilliant, there are far less people on the trails. I went to a trail a couple of weekends ago. It was about an hour and a half drive, and I didn't even get out of the car. The parking lot was just jam packed. I didn't even bother I just basically turned around and came back. You know, hiking with hundreds of other people just isn't my thing. Antisocial maybe, but, you know, it's just not my thing. I like the solitude when I go out in the mountains. I like that peace. I like that quiet. I like the serenity. And I've had this trail to myself today. It has been, you know, I came out thinking it was going to be full of people, full of bikes, full of hikers, full of dog walkers. And apart from that one runner, there has been absolutely nobody for the last 3 miles. And it is just, there are waterfalls everywhere. I'm just on my way down to take a photo of this one. Up at about 3,000 feet. It's stunning. I'm going to be honest, I'm completely gobsmacked that this is here, you know, right on the edge of the city. I bet in the summer it's a completely different story and it will be jam-packed, but for now, you know, I'm going to take it in. I have the whole thing to myself and it is amazing. So I stopped back at that waterfall, took the opportunity to take some pictures and to take a bit of a breather. I didn't realise how hot I was getting walking through the mountains. I've just seen one other person, a lady runner out running, gave me a very weird look when she walked past and I was talking to this weird looking device in my hand. But hey ho. So as I was saying, I stopped, took some pictures just with my phone. You know, there seems to be a huge thing at the moment in the land of photography, people hating on what they're deeming iPhone photographers. And I've even seen some videos on YouTube of so-called professional photographers saying they are giving up photography because of iPhone photographers, which to me is just ludicrous. I mean, what a ridiculous thing to do. To me, I'm carrying a digital SLR in my bag, but I love using my phone for photography. You know, photography to me is about capturing a moment. It's about capturing, you know, a snippet in time. Don't get me wrong, there is the full side of artistic photography. And you know, there are some people out there doing some magnificent work with photography, using some very expensive and some very sophisticated equipment. I am not one of those people. I am not a professional photographer. I am not a professional videographer. I have done paid photography work. I have done paid videography work. But I by no means consider myself a professional in any way, shape or form. I am the happy snapper, I guess, is the category I would fall into. I like to go out and I like to capture moments. I like to capture scenes that I think are pretty, that look nice. I like to capture my surroundings, so that, you know, you have memories, basically. That is the kind of photographer I am. And I do 99.9% of my photography with my phone, because it's so quick, it's so simple. Everybody has their phone with them pretty much all of the time. And it's quick and easy to go to. And with camera phones these days, you know, yeah, they don't have, you know, the depth of, or the breadth, I should say, of various different camera lenses and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, they're getting there. Moment has a lot of camera lenses now that you can click to a camera phone holder. You can get a plethora of clip-on lenses. I have a clip-on lens. It's a 2-stage lens, a wide angle and a macro. But it's just so quick and easy. Than, you know, getting my bag off, getting my camera out, changing lenses, all that kind of nonsense, just to grab my phone. So I'm totally pro phone photography. If you don't follow my Instagram, and you want to follow my Instagram, then I'll put that up on the screen. Go over and check out my Instagram. Every single photo on my Instagram is taken with a phone. One or two with a drone, maybe one or two with this thing in my hand. I can't remember what it's called, Osmo Pocket. But the majority of them are taken with my phone. 99.9% of those photos are taken with my phone, because I like to just capture a moment. And my phone is easily accessible all of the time. So if you're into phone photography, don't listen to the people out there moaning about phone photographers. I've got your back. So I've climbed up, now at, my watch says, 4,700 feet. Accuracy's plus or minus 3 feet, so it's pretty accurate. And there, looking at the other side of the valley here, some strange scarring, just lines. I'm assuming they're logging roads or something, and they're very close together. But we're at almost at the snow line here. Don't know what they are. It's very strange. They're roads of some kind, they have to be. For what? I do not know. Well, I've made it to the top of the trail. It's a pretty awesome view. Up at just over 5,000 feet. It's windy up here, so, you know, I apologise for that on the mic. This thing doesn't have the best mic in the world anyway, so I'm sorry if the whole video sound is terrible. I'll see if I can sort that out in post. But yeah, I guess now I see if I can find another trail to head back down, or I follow the road. But I was very impressed with that hike. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I'm going to be honest, I didn't think I would, but I do. And I think there is a whole gang of elk on the hillside behind the camera. I'm really frustrated because I forgot my optics. The one thing that I do not ever want to leave home without. You know, everyone's like, oh, I don't want to leave my knife behind, or I don't want to leave my gun behind. Me, optics, binos, totally forgot them. Very frustrated. That is a huge gang of elk. I'm going to see if I can get them on camera.
The elk I can see are on this ridgeline here. What I would like to do is make my way to the ridgeline just in front of them to see if I can get them on camera. Changing location, I managed to get a little closer to the large gang of elk. I absolutely love seeing these ungulates in the wild.
Well, I've left the elk to it. They were quite a ways away. And kind of hiked over a couple of the draws. See if I can get a bit closer, get them on camera. It's always awesome seeing the elk out in the mountains. Such amazing animals. Really do like watching the elk. But I didn't realise it was getting quite so late. And I've got about a 4-mile hike. Luckily it's all downhill because it was all uphill on the way here. And I've come up about 3,000 feet, I think, roughly speaking. So I'm going to descend about 3,000 feet, which is nice. It means my legs can take a bit of a rest and my knees can now take a bit of a battering. But I'm going to call it a day, guys. Take this hike back unless I see something extra special. I'm going to call it a day. As always, guys, I thank you very much for watching, and until next time, please do take care.